Good evening, my name is Kacper Paradowski and you're watching Poland Daily News. Olga Tokarczuk, a Polish novelist, won a Nobel Prize in Literature. After the announcement was made by the Swedish Academy, the writer did not hide her astonishment and great happiness. President Andrzej Duda and Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki congratulated the author.
The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2018 is awarded to the Polish author Olga Tokarczuk for a narrative imagination that with encyclopedic passion represents the crossing of boundaries as a form of life.
Nobel Prize in Literature. Happiness and emotions made me speechless. Great thanks for all the congratulations.
Congratulations to Mrs. Olga Tokarczuk, a great day for Polish literature. Another Polish female writer, after the poet Wisława Szymborska, receives the Nobel Prize in Literature. Bravo! Olga Tokarczuk is the winner of the Nobel Prize. My congratulations to Mrs. Olga for this great success, and I am happy that Polish literature is so appreciated all over the globe. This is wonderful news. Olga Tokarczuk, my sincerest congratulations. What a joy and pride. I will be walking around Brussels as a proud Pole and faithful reader who read all of your works, from start to finish. The Polish novelist's win, however, was not well received by all. Her success was met with skepticism from writer and literary critic Antoni Libera, among others. I will name a few Polish writers of the 20th century who have not received the Nobel Prize in Literature. Leśmian, Witkacy, Bruno Schulz, Maria Dąbrowska, Józef Mackiewicz i Witold Gombrowicz, Gustaw Herling-Kruciński, Tadeusz Różewicz, Zbigniew Herbert, Sławomir Mrożek. 10 names. These are writers which have never received the Nobel Prize. The rest I am leaving up to you, the ones listening or watching. I have no further comments.
To są pisarze, którzy nie dostali Nagrody Nobla.
There are only 3 days left until the Polish parliamentary elections. The latest surveys show a huge advantage of the Law and Justice Party. The leaders of the opposition are appealing for creating the common anti-law and justice front. Law and justice politicians claim that the front would lead to political chaos in the country.
The Polish parliamentary elections will be held in a few days. The press conference of the Law and Justice Party candidate Patryk Jaki was disturbed by the activists of the Committee for the Defense of Democracy. The opposition leaders are continuing their meetings with Poles all over the country. On October 13th, we will save Poland from divisions. The leader of the Civic Platform Party, Grzegorz Schetyna, visited the Silesian province.
These are the most important elections since 1989.
The Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, participated in the ceremony of signing the agreement on providing assistance to returned expatriates in Poznań.
Ustawa, którą przyjęliśmy w 2017 roku.
The bill adopted in 2017 changed the situation of these people. If people choose us again, we will definitely strengthen these actions.
Jeżeli będziemy mogli kontynuować.
According to the latest survey conducted by Ibris, the Law and Justice Party would win 42% of the votes, the Civic Coalition 22%, the left-wing 13%, and the Polish People's Party, together with the Kukiz 15 movement, nearly 7%. 10% of the sample people don't know who to vote for.
This Sunday is the election day. Polish citizens abroad also have a chance to cast their votes. I'm here with Małgorzata Schulz, Poland Daily correspondent from Los Angeles, California. Good evening. How can the Polish people vote and where should they go to do so?
Yes, actually, Polish citizens who live outside of Poland can also vote. And there is still an opportunity to register to vote, actually still all day today. Especially with the time difference in the States, it's just early morning right now. They can go online and register online. And if there is any difficulty, they can just call the consulate. And actually, currently, every consulate in every country and state in the States still is taking registrations for vote. So this is a great opportunity also for people who just temporarily are outside of Poland, maybe traveling or working temporarily. They can also register, and I think that's really important to emphasize that so people can go there and exercise their rights.
Yeah, this is their right. And how popular is voting amongst our Polish diaspora in the US?
It is pretty popular, and actually, especially in this election, many people register for the first time. Actually, currently in Los Angeles area, almost 3,000 people already are registered, but we're here talking about not only the states, where of course Chicago has the most polling places as well, because there are the most Polish citizens who live there, but we're talking about other countries like Germany, Hungary, North Korea. Let's say there is also a polling place, right? Wherever there is a Polish embassy and a consulate. So it is popular, and it's really important to remind people, so those who maybe forgot or don't know where to go, they will be aware they can still register online.
Małgorzata Schulz, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Open Dialogue Foundation, known from actively supporting the opposition in Poland, started several lawsuits against politicians and journalists of the right wing of the Polish political scene, accusing them of slander and violation of personal rights. Many people suggest the foundation's claims are just another attempt of limiting the freedom of speech and are an attack on the ruling party just days before the parliamentary elections.
The foundation, headed by Bartosz Kramek and Ludmiła Kozłowska, presented a list of cases concerning the violation of personal rights and slander, specifying the amount they demand for compensation, as well as the examples of the alleged breaking of the law. In total, they presented 20 lawsuits against politicians and right-wing journalists.
We are merely defending ourselves. We were attacked by TVP and other government media, not only by the so-called public ones. A huge role was also played here by politicians of the ruling party and their statements. The list is not closed. It is only the first strategic draft, so you can expect double the amount of cases to come in the future.
According to the editor-in-chief of Gazeta Polska Weekly, Tomasz Sakiewicz, the date chosen for the conference, one day before the election silence, is not circumstantial.
The foundation, which very clearly supported the opposition, stood against the current government and attacked those who supported it in any way, wants to boost the civic platform or the left-wing score in the elections. This lawsuit is very peculiar, since they quote our statements, which are nothing but presentation of facts or comments on facts. You can easily find them on the internet. They don't even deny it. They simply say it's offensive, but it's the facts that are offensive. We only conveyed them to the public. Didn't they take money from these sources? They did. Maybe it's wrong, but they did. They shouldn't get offended then.
The Open Dialogue Foundation is suing the public television TVP, Fratria, the editor of Polityce.pl, as well as journalists and columnists, example Witold Gadowski, Tomasz Sakiewicz, Dorota Kania, and the leading politicians of the United Right. In total, the foundation is demanding a couple 100,000 zloty.
That is all for tonight. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for Poland Daily Business. Good night.
Hello, and welcome to Poland Daily Weather. The forecast for tonight calls for showers in Warsaw and Poznań, and in the south in the cities of Katowice, Krakow, and Rzeszów. The rest of the country can expect partly cloudy skies. The temperatures will vary from 6 to 9 degrees. Tomorrow, we can expect showers in the north and temperatures of 12 to 13 degrees. The rest of Poland will see partly cloudy skies and temperatures varying from 12 to 16 degrees in the south. The next 3 days will bring showers to the northeast. On Saturday, by Sunday, the sky should clear up and the temperatures will rise up to 20 degrees. On Monday, we can expect a warm and fairly sunny day, with temperatures reaching up to 21 degrees. That is all for now. I invite you to stay with us and to join us later on for Poland Daily Business.
Poland Daily Business Edition. Tonight we are in Rzeszów, the southeastern Poland, at 590 Congress. This is an annual event binding business and politicians and top executives. For example, President Andrzej Duda spoke at the opening of the Congress. We will talk tonight with Sebastian Bizoń of Olymp Laboratories. So welcome to the show.
Welcome, thank you for the invitation.
Let us say a few words about the investment you're company is executing here in this southeastern corner of Poland?
Well, this event is actually the reason why we announced the public information about our new investment that's coming in execution, and we are actually planning to build the new factory facilities for cold food 4.0. And that's related. Actually, we try to focus on developing our production capacity to develop our food functional line of products.
Because that's very important, because your company is producing the foods additives, the sport
nutrition,
yes,
and food supplements, OTC, RX, and well, this is the future, because we also kind of a pharmaceutical company.
And your sales is in over 100 of countries, so you need to also take care about logistics.
Yes,
that's primary.
Well, logistics is a key here. This is why we also had developed our logistics center, which allow us to prepare shipment in 38 hours, and then we collaborate with many transport providers.
Okay. You are using mainly truck transportation, or
that's different depending from location, but in terms of Europe, mostly we use a truck or partial pallet shipments. Sometimes we also using the couriers. In terms of the long distance destinations like China, Japan, Australia, or US, we usually use container shipments.
And there is also airfield in Rzeszów here.
Right, there are air shipments as well. It's for example, Chinese market sometimes require from us this kind of deliveries.
Are you able to meet the demand from China, for example, when Chinese businessmen are coming to Poland, talking to Polish businessmen? They always complain that they cannot find the quality or quantity they require for Chinese market.
Sure, they can find quality. About the quantities, well, they're always afraid of that, but to be honest, we never had this problem. And actually, the demand is not enough to our production capacities, because we always think of one step forward.
Let us tell how many people you are employing here and how it grows since like decade, for example.
We currently employ 800 people, and well, that's last 5 years actually brought the highest dynamic in employment.
Mm-hmm. The company name Olymp Laboratories suggests that there is quite heavy R&D activity.
That's our core. We focus on our quality, and this is major thing. We want to deliver marketed quality product. That's why we focus to that topic. R&D department is probably one of the modernest R&D department in Europe. We also, like a company, have one of the 9 in the world the artificial digestive tracts, where we can we can observe how each substance is behaving in our digesting system.
Okay, so that's a simulation of the human body and the human digestive tract. Very interesting. About your suppliers, because you source your elements locally, how does it work for a company like that?
Very differently. As a company this size, we need to have we need to be safe with our supplies. That's why we have several contracts with several suppliers. We never rely on the one source.
Okay, so the export is very interesting. Is it something like, if you work with the international purchasers, international buyers, do they have requirements about different kind of formula for
Each-
particular
Yes,
markets?
that's a challenge for us as each market to have different needs, and that's of course we need to examine it. And our research market is very important in the initial phase. So when we enter the market, plus each regulation are quite different. So that's very challenging, and not necessarily each formulation is allowed to use in each country, in all countries. So that's why we need to be flexible here.
Bottom line is southeastern Poland, the edge of technology in food supplies, in food processing is over here, and you have successfully sailed to over 100 countries, and you are building the brand recognition all over the world in key markets.
And it's just beginning, yes.
And that is just beginning. That's the word. That's the spirit. Thank you very much. Mr. Sebastian Bizoń of Olymp Laboratories was our guest tonight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And from Rzeszów, Jasionka, Poland Daily Business. That's it for this time, but stay tuned for the rest of our show.
Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily Business Weather. The forecast for tomorrow will bring showers in the northern regions of Poland, where the temperatures will vary from 12 to 13 degrees. The rest of the country can expect fairer weather, with partly cloudy skies and temperatures of 12 to 16 degrees. In Europe, we can expect rain in Scandinavia, the UK, Berlin, and Athens. The temperatures in these regions will vary from 7 to 27 degrees. Rome will see a bright and sunny day with clear skies and a high of 25 degrees. Vilnius and Moscow can expect cloudy skies and temperatures varying from 10 to 11 degrees. The rest of the continent will see partly cloudy skies and temperatures of 14 to 28 degrees. That is all for now. I thank you for joining us, and I wish you all a very pleasant evening.
Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. Are you interested in theater? Our today's guests know everything about it. He is a director, drama writer, an essayist, and a music composer. He won 2 prestige drama prizes, and to add more, he's not even 30 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, Michał Zdunik, thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invitation.
But before we learn more about him, let's see some shots of his plays.
Telewizor się włączył!
To samo tak gra?
Samo?
Jakieś obce widma. Odworują z nas sobie. Ten człowiek nie może zasiąść z nami przy stole. Mój ojciec go zabije.
Już raz to zrobił.
Milcz! Oktawian Alfons był człowiekiem czynów, rozumiesz? Wielkich czynów!
Nie piekl się, aca na mnie. Nie wiesz bowiem o swoim ojcu, potworze rzeczy najstraszliwsze.
Michał, you are a relatively very young person, and you already wrote your own 2 dramas, which are Lalki, the dolls, and Origami, so Origami. It's a pretty unique thing, and you managed to stage them in Poland and in France when it comes to dolls. What are those dramas about? What are the dolls about?
It's very strange to me because I wrote this drama kind of 10 years ago. It's kind of very old story for me, and it's kind of I think this kind of, I don't know, feministic drama, I can say, about condition of women in everyday life. Yes, in our.
So what's the story then? Tell us more details.
Okay, it starts with women who who wants to make good to all these all children, and she adopts all childs from the
orphanage.
From orphanage, yes, and after this she makes crazy, yes, she.
So she adopts a children. She takes
Yes.
a child from an orphanage,
Yes.
and then she later becomes crazy.
Yes, she later becomes crazy. Yes, and
Because of the child, or?
Because of kind of evil in the world. Yes, that she can't help all of these children. Yes, and then it starts kind of poetic, kind of avant-garde monologue of this kind of monodrama, and then starts kind of monologue of this woman. Yes, which is kind of monologue about situation of women in our society now.
And you staged this drama as well in Poland, in Zakopane,
Yes.
in Witkacy Theatre, and then later in France.
Yes.
How did you manage this?
Because the drama was published in Dialogue, it's Polish magazine with contemporary dramas.
So it needed to be translated to French later?
Yes, because it was project which is held by university in Toulouse, Université Jean Jaurès now, and they translate one Polish drama per year, and they translate it and published a book and stage in theater in Toulouse. So
out of all dramas in Poland, they chose to yours?
In this one year in 2011, they chose my drama and published it.
I see, interesting. And the other drama you wrote is Origami.
Mm-hmm.
What is this one about?
It was very crazy experience because it's drama, but it's kind of poetic reinterpretation of novel Ozimina. Is Polish novel from beginning of the century by Wacław Berendt. It's kind of very modernistic, very hard to read text, and it was the project of dramatic theater in Wałbrzych when there were free writers. And they must reinterpret this drama, this novel, yes, in kind of drama way. And I was among these three writers.
And I understand you won, or you're...
No, this was the one. It's no one. It was kind of project when the director of theater in Wałbrzych chose three writers to make it.
Could you tell us more about the fact that you have your own drama which you wrote, but you yourself are a director, and then you see it on a stage directed by someone else.
Mm-hmm.
What is this a feeling? What kind of would you watch it and you see, oh, I would do it differently?
No, I don't think I would do it different, because when I end my play, it's the end, yes, and some other people can make it, yes, and they are free to reinterpret it, yes, yeah, and it was for me very interesting, and it's very cool to see he can or she can see another thing in my text that I see. Yes, it's very interesting. I don't have this feeling that I must their interpretation are better or something like this.
You're a drama writer, so it's a different type of working. Yes. Then directing is a different way, and then you also compose theater music. Yes. To this. How do you do this?
I think it's.
You haven't finished any music schools, so this
I have a little bit experience in the music. My brother is a great musician, so we also always have much music at home, yes. And it's my theater music, I think, is very simple, because I think that the main aim of theater music is to create kind of climate, yes, kind of emotion, yes, and we can only pad two sounds, yes, two notes to create melancholic or dramatic emotion. Yes, so for me I love to create theater music because now I have all of this control about my work. Yes, I have control in text, in directing, and in music.
Are you working on anything right now?
In Theater of Cieszyn, I will directing Nora by Henrik Ibsen.
And where is going to be the premiere? February.
Of February, yes. And then I will work in theater in Częstochowa, and I will make some one Ukrainian play here.
If any of the viewers are from Cieszyn or from Częstochowa, we recommend you in February and later to go to Michał Zdunik Place. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.
"1830 was a year of revolution in Europe. Belgium, France, Switzerland, and in Greece, the struggle to independence from the Ottoman Empire was finally successful. And in this dramatic year, Poland was no exception. In this program, we look at the November 1830 revolution, which gave the Poles 9 months of freedom, of independence, the only 9 months they had between the Third Partition of Poland in 1795 and the re-emergence of the Polish state after the First World War in 1918. Join us on Poland Daily History for this dramatic story. And so the actual uprising itself began in November of 1830.
The night of
9th of November.
Of November.
When Lieutenant Piotr Wysocki led this first uprising.
With a group of cadets. I mean, there were two most important groups. One of them was trying to capture the Grand Duke from the Belvedere, and the other was to make their way through the Russian. I mean, because the place where they were at that time was this cadet school in Łazienki,
yes,
surrounded by Russian barracks, and so the point was to cross that line and to move the people of Warsaw. And the first skirmish was already in Łazienki by the statue to Jan Sobieski.
And a sort of attack on the Belvedere Palace where Constantine.
It didn't work out. I mean,
he escaped.
He escaped in the very last moment,
disguised as a woman, I think. I read, which is rather dramatic. And so he escaped. Then what happened?
Then what happened? Then this group, I mean, led by Wysocki, would march to the north of Warsaw, and that was a very dramatic moment of the uprising, because it may sound strange, but most of the people in that area, which is a very good district and rich district of Warsaw now and at that time showed no interest in the rising. I mean, people were rather, closing the windows than opening them.
Right.
So there was a fighting chance that the uprising would collapse before kicking off.
Right.
These guys were trying to find someone because Piotr Wysocki was just a lieutenant.
Yes.
So low rank officer.
Very low rank, yes.
So they were trying to find a leader that would take control of the rising, and they offered the leadership to a number of generals, mostly Napoleonic generals, and they refused. They were refusing, and 6 of them got killed for betraying the national case.
And but who eventually did take charge of the?
At that time, nobody. That night, and that night, and it is only that the people of the old town, who were poor people, and it was very easy to make them act, promising social reforms, and it's only because of that engagement of this a bunch of poor people, that the uprising was maintained.
Right, and also politically there were some changes. The administrative council changed its complexion.
Its complexion. It's a very, very strange period. December 1830. There is this man who was very important for Polish history, Józef Chłopicki. His actions are really hard to comprehend. I mean, he first declared himself the dictator on the 5th of December. Then he refused. Then he was given the dictatorship back, and then he refused.
And then he became a general in the conflict.
But he still served as a general at the most important battle, that is to say, Battle of Grochów, Olszynka Grochowska. It is because the uprising or the revolution, if you want to put it, was maintained only because the left side of the political, spectre didn't want to make it, to stop it. I mean, because those, let's say, conservative politicians, those who remembered that there was a period that Poland didn't exist. I mean, for them, this was a Poland.
So
for the young guys.
Yeah, so for the older ones, this was something better than nothing.
Yeah.
And for the youngsters, of course, as often is the case with revolutions, well, that's simply not good enough. And we want to actually have something real. Mm-hmm. So we're going to fight about it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. It's fantastic. In these series of episodes, we're going to be taking a special walk in Warsaw. We're going to be looking at the sumptuous and scintillating gardens at the palace by the Vistula. That's right, we'll be taking a walk between the palace and the river. That's the royal palace, of course. Not only a beautiful building, but beautiful gardens as well. And Old Man Vistula rolling by. We're going to take a walk in the remade gardens and talk some old rubbish and see where the old river crossing was. You will be just as amazed as I was, along with Stan. Later, we'll walk along the Vistula, along what is called the Vistula Boulevards, which sports, according to many publications, the best beaches of any big city in all of Europe. We'll let you be the judge of that, so come along for a special walk between the palace and the river. That's Poland Daily Travel. We're in Warsaw. What better place to be? Let's go for a stroll.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Poland Daily Travel. That's right. We're here by the Vistula River, also known as the Wisła in Polish. Just to be clear, I like to get the nomenclature correct when I'm introducing the program. It's right behind us, or behind the cameras, but in front of me, the river. And behind me is a very large building. Can anyone guess what this building might be? It's a very important building. It's perhaps the most important building, along with the Wawel Castle in Krakow, in Polish history. This is the Royal Castle in Warsaw. And you can see, it's an amazing building. Look at that. And behind that is the Old Town. The history of the castle goes back several hundred years. It was the home of many kings up until the partition of Poland in the late 1790s. The partition, of course, between Russia, the Prussians, and the Austrians. If you know anything about Polish history, you know about the partitions. You don't need me to explain it all to you right now. But know, whatever you know about Polish history, that the Royal Castle plays an incredibly important part. And in fact, the Royal Castle stood here for many, many centuries, up until it was destroyed in the Warsaw Uprising. That's right. And the Warsaw Uprising, of course, 1944, from the 1st of August until just the beginning of October. I can't remember the exact date, October 3rd, I think it was. But at any rate, it was about 2 months. And at the end of that 2 months, some of the greatest fighting, the largest fighting, the most bitter part of the struggle in the Warsaw Uprising had taken place in the Old Town. People, both civilians and fighters of the Home Army, escaped from the Old Town. They went underground into the sewer canals to escape to the center of town, this way, about 1.5 miles from us now. At the end of this escape, the Germans came in, occupied this area, and began to demolish from that point, brick by brick, the old town of Warsaw, until it was absolutely no more, and that included the Royal Castle. So the history of the Royal Castle ended at that part. Because if you want to control someone, of course, you come into their country and you rip out their heart, spiritually, economically, and any other way, psychologically, that you can. And tearing down the major edifices, buildings, which symbolize the history of the country, will do this. The Royal Castle remains today at the heart of Polish history. They have some of the best exhibitions and performances go on in the Royal Castle. There's an excellent tour. We're not going to do that today, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the Royal Castle. We're going to look around in the neighborhood, because we haven't done that on Poland Daily Travel. We're going to walk by the river and see what's going on there on a Friday afternoon. Of course, a lot happens on Friday evening. At any rate, the Royal Castle was rebuilt in the 1970s. It lay in ruins for quite some time after the war, at least 15 to 20 years. And when it was finally finished in the early 80s, it looked like this. These gardens have been reconstructed and only finished in the last few years. They were not like this. And we're going to look at these gardens. It's one of my favorite places in the city, and it's well worth a stroll through when you're here. So, Poland Daily Travel, we're here in the gardens of the Royal Castle, in the absolute heart of Poland, with the Wisła River rolling along from south to north, just behind the cameras. And we'll be seeing that in this series of episodes as well. So stay with us for more of Poland Daily Travel. I'll also be joined by Stan Jaglinski, who you may know from the history programs, who also happens to work in the Royal Castle. So Stan will be along. I just have to go and find him. Stay with us, Poland Daily Travel. Hello everybody and welcome back after that short bumper. Stan said to meet him in the labyrinth, and the labyrinth is here. So I'm just going to go in and see if I can find him. Now he's a tricky customer, so it may not be as easy as I think. But I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, these labyrinths can be very labyrinthine, but I'll do my best. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm in the labyrinth, and I can't find Stan. Wait, my phone. Hello? Stan, where are you? I'm in the labyrinth. Where are you? Okay, well, I'm looking for you. This is a huge labyrinth. It's not easy to find you. All right. What? Okay, so come to the labyrinth. Okay, bye. See you soon. I hope. I've got to find Stan, but, you know, wait, maybe they've seen Stan. Have you seen Stan? No. You haven't seen Stan? Okay, thanks very much. They haven't seen Stan. I've got to find them somehow. But they were nice ladies anyway. Maybe I'll follow them. Hey, have you seen Stan? You didn't see Stan? No. No? They haven't seen Stan. I don't know where he is. He's still escaping. It's like nobody's seen Stan. Stan! There you are. You know what? I thought I lost you there for a second.
Well, I'm back.
Good to see you. Good to see you. This is a very puzzling labyrinth, I find.
It is. We just haven't found the Minotaur.
You haven't found what?
A Minotaur.
What is a Minotaur?
You know, this guy,
Is this
bull.
something really small?
No, it's actually a big thing.
Oh, it's not your Polish accent.
No, it's
You
not.
didn't mean miniature, and you were
No,
saying
no,
Minotaur.
no. It's
Because you're an
actually-
educated man. You would know better than that.
More or less.
I mean, Oxford and Cambridge at the same time.
Yes,
and
of
MIT.
Course, of course, everything.
Yeah,
Most of
I
them
know.
got
I know.
the knowledge of the world.
Yeah, and a
you know
royal background to do
know-
with it,
do you
to
know that
boot. What?
Greek,
What?
mythology thing where this bull-like bull man, half bull, half
I don't
man
know.
was
We'll
walking.
get to the bottom of this. Stay with us. Poland Daily Travel. I finally found him. He's a good man. It's Stan Jaglinski. We're going to do some more now. Okay, stay with us, Stan. Good. We're going to get to the bottom of this Minotaur.
That's very good.
Okay, whatever he calls it, I have no idea.